Hi everyone, Patrick here. Welcome to the new monthly project. This is number 62, and this is a redraw your old art challenge. So really fun. I think it's very important. I like to cycle back to this every year or two in my Patreon. Great way to see your growth as an artist and see how far you've come. And yeah, so this will be really fun. Got a lot of people involved over at my art community on my Patreon. So let's check them out. You know, basically the challenge is to find an old picture of yours, whether it's years ago, childhood, personal favorite, and it's a great comparison. Do it today, fresh, in your style, and see how far you've come. It's very simple, very fun, and let's check them out and see what everybody's done. All right, this will be fun, and I'm going to give a little bit of feedback wherever I can. I used to select critiques and do it that way, but I think it's better if I just do it more natural and give everybody a little bit of advice whenever it comes up. So I think that's a better way to go, whether it's a small tweak or a big draw over, anything like that. So all right, let's get into it. Carl Jones, this is your entry, your Wolverine. This is really cool. So 2022, this is where you started, and here we are at 2025. I really like what you've done here. I'm gonna, complete honesty, I think overall very similar, in style and in growth, very similar. But I do see a lot more refining. It's a lot cleaner in your newer versions. You definitely have cleaned up your lines. I think overall as well, I do like the energy in this pose slightly more. This one is good. It's more open, spread out a little bit more. But this one, I do like how his back arm is tucking further back a little more. And this arm seems to have a better angle. Just the way it's kind of raised up. I like the claws over the face a little bit too. This one here is just a little bit too straight and stiff. This one here is more natural and fierce. So I do like the pose and the attitude in that better. But I do like the quality you've got going on here. That's complete honesty there. But you are doing really well. The thing that you've got to remember is you have the technical, the art application is there. You're a lot better. That's really good to see. Awesome. I really love that. Nice work. All right, next up is Renee. You've done Gwen, Spider-Gwen, and 2020 to 2025. Here's a 5-year gap. Great comparison. Look at this. I mean, that is a really good piece here. Really good. You can see the growth. This is a great example here. So you have a very painterly style, and I find in the old one, it's just not as, pulled together in the way of structure, in the anatomy, and the fingers here. You see, kind of, there's not as much structure, but here you're a lot more confident. Your line work is showing a bit more stronger. Just great structure overall. So you definitely have grown a lot and done, absolutely amazing job now. So in your new one, so let me put it in Photoshop and I'll show you what I mean. So I just noticed, I feel like her body is too short through here. There's just not enough, anatomy wise and such. So I'm just going to quickly see what happens if I just stretch this out, and also I'm thinking of cool motion and movement. And just with the arm, I'm just adding, the hand I felt was slightly too big here. This is the original. And then I'm making it slightly smaller and stretched out more. It was just a little short. All right, so basically here's, so this is the new one, and this is one before. So just anatomy wise, I felt like she just needed to have longer limbs, slightly smaller head. See, her head here is quite big, but then now I've made so here her arm is now longer, more stretched out. Just I feel like it feels a bit more free and a bit more natural. Longer body is what I mainly looked at. I love your motion lines through this whole pose. But that now to me looks, pretty correct. Let me just rotate this whole thing and we'll have a better look. So if I just turn this whole canvas, sometimes it's better to see it from a different angle. and then we'll do that again. So yeah, do you see what I mean? Now the body looks more natural and correct. Also, take note of the back foot is too big here in the original. It had to be sized down and pushed back in space a little bit more, just to seem like it's a bit further away. Now the other good thing about this hand being more free and pushed out is it's pushing away from, it's not clashing with the foot. So before, the hand is clashing with the foot. You want to separate that. That's like a tension point, which means basically it's kind of subconsciously hard to look at. Like it can be kind of annoying without people really knowing it. You know, if you free it up, it's just more appealing and easier to look at. It just pushes that kind of worry away. You know what I mean? You want to make a picture as easy to look at as possible and more free. It frees up the pose. It's more interesting as well. It just crosses past and keeps going. You don't want them to clash. Tension point. Cool. So yeah, let's move on. I hope that helps. Let me just put that back to where it was. Really love that new piece there. You've done an amazing job. Yeah, and also through here I find is a little more free as well. So that it's just tiny, a little bit too tight through this gap. Just really stretch out that body. All right, better move on. Okay, awesome work, Renee. Okay, next up, Polchuri. Really love this. Love some He-Man stuff. That's my childhood, basically. 2021, this was yours. Really cool. I remember that one. And then, yeah, and then here you go, 2025. You got the big clash between these two. I love that you've redone it. See, this is what I'm talking about, growth. Really good for a comparison, just seeing, you know, how far you've come. And look at you. Look at you go. That detail is what I'm seeing most of. That's your big plus. You've really just... You can tell that you're spending more time and effort into your characters. You know, detail. Look at the suit here and the way you've done all the mechanics and stuff and the robotics through here. So you're really spending more time on it, which is a big plus. And you're still keeping your kind of animated style. You have this, you know, cartoony comic style flair to it, which is really good. All right, let's have a look at a little bit of feedback if I have anything to offer. Overall, I think that so this one here is too front on and too plain in the way of drama and angle. There's no dramatic kind of angle. It's just a straight look at two characters fighting. Do you know what I mean? So it can be very... That's the one thing that took that piece down just slightly. Even though the art itself is really cool, love the battle, you need a dramatic angle. So here you've done that. Now you're thinking of low angles. You're thinking like a director of a movie, you know, how to make a scene interesting and impactful. So yeah, this is really cool, low angle, way more interesting. But I do feel that it's just slightly too much. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, the angle is a little too intense in the way of tilt. I feel like I'm going to fall over, you know what I mean? Like, it's so tilted. Basically, yeah, diagonal completely, which is okay. But, yeah, I just feel like that takes away slightly from it. A little too much. To the point where it can get slightly hard to see exactly, do you know what I mean, what's going on. Like, you kind of have to turn your head a little bit. And you just don't want that. So all I'm saying is if you just took that tilt away slightly, I'll show you in Photoshop. So yeah, if I just took that tilt just slightly away, about there, you'd have to size the piece down. You don't want to lose too much. And also center them a little bit more, maybe a little higher, about there, I would say, is really a really nice, interesting spot. I find that more appealing to look at, and you still get that tilt. So let me mark it up. So where's the tilt? You can see the horizon line is now kind of like that. That's just a lot better for me. Whereas before, it's definitely it's like completely like diagonal. So yeah, I just find it that much more appealing. So that's all I was saying, and that's really all I can see there. I think the rest is great. I absolutely love your colors. Yeah, I'm just trying to have a quick look to see if there's anything else I can mention, but I just really like the way this is all held together. Great motion in the poses. Really, really cool clash. Love that pose. Love his pose. Yeah, epic. It's awesome. So yeah, I hope that helps, Paul. Just slightly too much in the angle. And that's it. All right, let's move on. All right, Jeremy Clark. Love your work. Absolutely love your work. So here we go. There was no year on this one, so I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I love seeing ones from way back. That's what I really love about these challenges. But look at you. Look how much you've grown just from this sketch to here. Look at this. So professional and well put together. The colors are just vibrant. You're soaring. Like you're going really well with everything you do. And always love seeing your work. So appealing, you know what I mean? So yeah, I really love what you've done. I especially love that you've redrawn her same pose, same kind of gun and same outfit and everything. I just think it's really cool to see you're doing for comparison and stuff. So yeah, and yeah, feedback wise, I can't see too much. Like color wise, I think it's absolutely perfect. I have no issues. If anything, I'd probably just would have had more clouds maybe up here or just spread them out a little more composition wise so that there's just something going up through here to fill in the piece, hold it all together. That's not like a big deal. Yeah, I think this is fine. Maybe her foot here, I don't know. It is a cartoony style, so it doesn't really matter, but maybe there just needs to be a little more mass in the top of her foot here. It's the way she's kind of standing is slightly off there. I don't know. But yeah, I think also if I was to say her pose and attitude, like the gesture of her, there could be a bit of work in that to add a little bit more flair to her. She's got almost just a slightly awkward stance in her leg, like the bend there. It's almost a little unsure. So a good way to do it would probably to have like an S shape through the body where she's got more of a tilt in her hip and then lifting that knee and the other leg's completely straight. I don't know, that kind of thing. Like just a little more flair in the gesture would go a long way. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, not much to see, not much to really comment on. I think it's great. Love your line work and your colors. Okay, better move on. Adrian, here we go. Yeah, this is awesome. Have a look at this. So, yeah, Transformer, 2016. That's 9 years ago. So, yeah, really love this one as well. From 2016, that's good. That's detailed. Looks really good. And then you've got now, 2025. Have a look at this. You zoom in. This is the high res. This is great. Look at that. Colors, line work, the choice of shading under noses and stuff, like adding that bold, solid line work, like, is brilliant. The detail alone. I mean, look at the effort that you put in here. The time, the quality is all there. So this is absolutely great. I think this is awesome. I don't have any feedback on this at all in this new one. I just think that's just tops. Absolutely awesome. You know what? The only thing I would say, and it's probably a deliberate choice of you to have this so vertical, but yeah, I don't know. Like the crop is just too much for me. Too vertical. I would have loved to see this more of a poster shape. Just basically like this one here. Yeah, so that you could print it or easier to share, easier for people to see. This one is super vertical, but it would make a great banner. Like if you were going to a Comic Con and you printed this on a big vertical banner, absolutely amazing. Yeah, that's really my only comment. You've come a long way, in the way of like inks and everything. So yeah, well done. Awesome work there, Adrian. Keep that up. All right. Next up is Brett, and you've done a Spider-Man here from 2020. So here's the original up here. That's from 2020, and then now. I like how you've done the exact same pose, and it's like, I really find that easy for comparison, to have a good look and just to see the improvements, I mean, for instance, have a look at the hand. So back here, 2020, you got this like really cartoony hand, very big fingers, and then here, It's more like comic accurate, it's very refined. You've got knuckles, you've got a lot more information in the hand and still keeping that comic style. Really, really cool. And what I really love is I can still see your energy, because what you do, Brett, is you have this very stylized, you've got a lot of energy in a lot of your art, and I really love that. And you've kept that with this. I could still see that. It's just refined. It's just, a lot cleaner. So very good. Really like that. Feedback wise, so to things to probably work on a little more. I'm just seeing that maybe like when we get to the legs here, we lose a lot of information in structure and detail. It just gets a little bit too rushed here, or not as clean and well drawn, like especially when you get down to this leg. Just a little, do you know what I mean? Like if there was just a little more time spent in there and focused in the drawing and the anatomy, so really get that knee, get the bulging kind of like the muscles in the leg kind of refined more and rendered. So play around with the black shading in the leg render more. Calf muscle down to the shin. You would want to see the back of the heel a little more shaped. Just things like that needs to be more refined and cleaned up. This hand here slightly confuses me. I almost thought that's the thumb, so it makes it look like a backwards hand. And I think the reason for that is maybe this, because this is the thumb here, right? But the thumb looks like a finger because it looks like it's got too many joins in there. And that's kind of where my brain was getting a little confused. So this could have an extra join to make it clear that it's a pinky. And then you'd probably just have the palm here, just merge all the way to about there to clean that up. That would fix everything. If you just got rid of that, see that little, if you just got rid of that, just smooth that out, have that line go continually all the way across, stop there, then that's the thumb, and shave off that bump there. That would fix everything. But apart from that, pretty good. I think you'd probably just keep the red going through that shoulder, all the way through the shoulder. I don't think Spider-Man has much blue going up through the shoulder usually. So, more red through there. Just a bit more refining in the inks and stuff. So, but apart from that, really good work there, Brett. Love it. All right, next up, Adrian. Here we go. So, 2012 to 2025, big jump there. That's huge. That's like 13 years or something. So, right, So is this, let me think, this is Darkness, isn't it? Darkness? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so here's the new one. Very clean, very nice work. A lot of effort going into that. Very cool. Here's the other one. Now, honestly, from a, just artist point of view, 2012, sorry. I like this one. I really like it, but for some reason, I really like this one more. Now, I think what that has to do with it is the vibe it's giving off. The dark, edgy vibe. This has it. This is really, it looks like a really cool tattoo. There's something really appealing about this that I like. When I get to this one, it's really, really technically well done. You've got super clean, you're way cleaner, accurate. When you zoom in and look at this, I mean, look, all of this, super clean and well done. Very good. But overall, as a piece, it doesn't stand out as quick as this one. Do you know what I mean? This one, you can instantly look at it and it just draws you in. You can see it clearly. I think because it's mostly seems like a silhouette. This one here, it's a lot of information. It's a little too confusing overall. A little overwhelming almost at first glance. But technically it's, really well done. And it's once you zoom in and you can soak it all in. So that's all I mean. Because when you look at the other one, it's not as clean, is it? Like as you go in, it's got a lot of rough details, but it's kind of like a good rough. It's almost like an artistic kind of flair to it. Anyway, really cool. That's what I wanted to point out there. I think the way around it, you could probably, whether you had the same amount of detail through the body and just made him the feature. I feel like everything needs to be raised up. It's all very lower half of the page. Like literally half of the page down is all the art, and up above is this stuff. All the swirly, the tentacle stuff. Yeah, too much empty up here. Not a lot going on. So I recommend just focus of your character should be right dead center, I reckon. Same as this one. Anyway, we better move on. That's really cool. I love that. All right, next up is Paul, and this I love this. Made in the 80s. That's cool. So this is obviously when you were a kid. You did a Superman. Yeah, I really like the way he's shaped. He's got a really the attitude in that pose from the 80s is all there. I really like the way you've done that. That's cool. But I love the comparison. Look at this, 2025. Boom. Now look what you're doing. It's epic. The amount of like you must be super proud of yourself. I mean, this is a big thing. Can you imagine your kid self looking at this? I think you'd be pretty amazed. You'd be jumping around the room excited, So yeah, well done. I think that's just amazing to see. I really love it. Feedback wise, I feel like it's just gets a little weak in the outlines. Now, what I mean by that is, I don't mean by because the outlines are all there. They're just a little too faded into the render. Do you know what I mean? You've softened them into it. I'd probably keep a lot of them black or just dark, and just have some that blend with the skin. Yeah, like these ones could blend a little more. But yes, the nose and under the nose and the nostrils, I'd probably keep mostly just near black. Yeah, just so you got structure of the face. Bring a bit of strength back into the character. Maybe, some heavy shading under the chin would help a little bit more. Things like that. Really just get that comic oomph back into it. I'd even do a bit more under here. I'm not too much of a fan of just the dark blue, like it stops there. I feel like there needs to be one more cell shade or just outlines framing that arm. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just, it stops here. It gets a little lost. There needs to be this, like see that black outline structuring the arm and the shoulder on the outside and everything. I just feel like that needs to continue up through here, stop there, and just have the dark chest line come in there. I'd be happy with that. And maybe just a couple of subtle ones to refine muscles, and maybe a little one around the rib cage, middle of the abs maybe, and just structure around the rib cage here. Yeah, so that kind of thing. It probably gets a little too ripped here too. I'd smooth that out a bit there. It just gets a little too aggressive here with the muscle definition for Superman, I think. But overall, really killer work. There's not much else I can really see that I would, call out. I think you've cropped this piece, haven't you? Because I don't know if there's more to it. I mean, the text seems to keep going, but I was going to say the crop is just a little odd. I'd probably have him more centered and a little more distant, so a bit more breathing room around him. But yeah, anyway, I love that. Awesome work there, Paul. Oh, and Paul's got another one here. 2023 to 2025. You've done Ryu, Street Fighter. Yeah, this is cool. What I'm seeing here, like it's very much the same drawing again, which is good. I can see you've redrawn it. What I am noticing in your improvements is the muscle anatomy. Like look at this here. I think that's really well done. That's pretty much spot on, that whole arm. The way this muscle goes through here. This is the new one. And then back here, these ones are a little unsure. It's just a little too much, a bit too odd. It kind of looks like swells in paint. Do you know what I mean? Like a little, hard to read, these muscles. So that's what I'm seeing there. And the sizing seems a little different. But yeah, here seems accurate. Seems really good. One thing I'd probably do, I'm just thinking, maybe the hands just need to be slightly bigger. That's what I'm seeing here. Just the hands are just slightly too small. Maybe the whole power part, just size all that up just slightly bigger. And I think that would be good with the forearm. But yeah, I do like it. The video VHS kind of effect over the top, I don't mind. I think it might be the 3D effect is too much. It's starting to just take away from your art. You have these really nice clean lines, clean art, but then it's all jolted by the 3D effect. I think it's just a little too much. Maybe you'd halve the opacity up, because I do like this. Like, I like that. I actually like that a lot more than having it fuzzed out a bit too much with that effect. So that's just my opinion there. I don't mind the VHS effect here, the grains. You see the lines going through, but I don't mind that. Maybe if that was just a little less as well, slightly. I don't know. But yeah, it's just a personal choice. But anyway, really good. I like that. Awesome. All right, next is John McCarthy. Here we go, Green Lantern. This is really cool to see. Have a look at this. 2016 here. Yeah, this is, you were mentioning this was a big one for you. I think this is when you started off a bit more. And then you got now 2025. Look at that difference. Huge comparison. This is a great one. Yeah, because back here you can see the logo takes all the shine here. He's very small. And here you're just, you understand what you're doing. He's really coming at you. It's a lot more impactful. Awesome pose. The drawing. Look at the hair. Look how far you've come now. So much more detail. The anatomy. Everything's really cool. Love that fist detail. So yeah, compared to this fist and the way you've drawn things here, you're really structuring things a lot more now. A lot more comic-like. You know what I mean? Like, this looks like a cover. Like, it's very cool. So yeah, I think that's great. I think you did a really good job there, John. Yeah, I think feedback-wise, maybe I'm finding maybe some of your outlines are just a bit too bold. You know what I mean? Up through this shoulder around here, you see how that thickness there, and all up around the arm. There's not too much volume through it. See, personally, I would shave off a lot off the top of that, then go thick again, and then go thin, like balance. You want some balance and flow. See, it's nice when it tapers out here, but even so, this is still too thick. I think if you thin out, just take the line weight down of your character a little, not like too much, just a bit more. I think you'll see a big plus in your work overall. Even here, as you get into face details, I would thin them way out, halve the thickness of these face details. Anything like these wrinkles should be really thin, but then things that are important like a mouth or under the nose and eyebrows and eyelids could be thick. Sorry. Anything that's framing or hold, like I always make it thicker around the hair, like around the outside, as if it's framed and held together. But then anything on the inside of hair is all super thin for me. That's what I do. So these details could be much thinner. I think it'll look even better. But yeah, that's just one of my tips there. I think that'd be really good. See, especially through the muscles here. Getting too dark and too thick, it just gets harder to read. Gets a bit blotchy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'd probably refine that more. Look up Ryan Otley's inks, and you'll see what I mean. Like, follow what he does, and you'll be absolutely fine. That was my big inspiration. Yeah. So anyway, great work there, John. I love that. All right, and yeah, we've got Sai. Here we go. So Sai, you've done, here we go, 2021. This is your Batman, and then 25. Yeah, look at that. Recent. So yeah, really cool. You know what I'm seeing with this? I like how he's doing the same pose. It's very similar to this piece. So you've chosen a much better angle. That's the best thing I'm seeing here. I actually like the vertical portrait choice better too. Way better. This horizontal one, it's not too bad, but it's the placement, the composition here just doesn't feel right to me. This one does. This feels right. And I love how you can see the rope there, like his grapple hook or something. Yeah. And I really like this. I think it's really cool. One thing, so let's talk about comparison. So it's something about the texture. You've got some texture going through him that's a little overwhelming. It's the horizontal kind of lines through him. They're not bad, but I feel like you'd clear them up in some areas. Maybe it's a bit overused. I don't know. Is that just me? But it's kind of gets a little messy. Sorry, is what I'm trying to say. When it's overdone like that, it kind of makes him look a little too confusing. I do like your choice of shadows. I love all that. I love everything else. I love the style. But yeah, because when I look at this one, I like how clear and you can see the render more. So I think it's just that effect you've got is a bit too much. The shoulder here seems there's something odd through this area. I think you need to have just the shoulder. It's the bicep and then the tricep. It's a little too pinched in here. It's too much too pinched. So I'd have it just thicker. Tricep should stop about up here. Bicep about there, and that'll probably fix a lot of that. And you want to have that shoulder lift, a bit of darkness up and around here, under where the lats would be and stuff. That's just a little bit of an anatomy thing there, I think. But yeah, and a little too grungy, I think, maybe in the background. I don't know. That's not bad. It's good. Yeah, I think it's good. It comes across as a little too sharp. Like there's the filter sharpen, unsharp mask or something is a little too heavy or something throughout. So if that was toned down, I think that would help as well. You might need a little more of dynamic range pushed behind. So what I mean is where the building stops here and then it frames around Batman, you want all this background stuff pushed back more. So you'd probably lighten it up with maybe like a light purple. A lot of these colors are starting to merge with your character. You see this building in the back, its colors are starting to merge nearly with these outlines, like they're nearly the same tone and they touch. So you kind of want to fade it back somehow and push it back in space with a bit of a light fade, light color. Kind of like how this beam of light is doing here with this helicopter light. You can see him popping a little more off that because of the beam of light. You want to just fade that backdrop off a little bit more. You'll get a lot more. It'll just look better overall. You see this Batman has it. Like he's very lifted off and that looks great. That's what I mean. Anyway, I really love your work. I think that's awesome. You've got more as usual. And sorry, I've got these backwards. So this is the old one here, 2024 and then 2025. Very cool. Very, very cool. So a year apart, same kind of pose. It's great to see your progress. You see, yeah, I like this one much more overall. The only downside I'm seeing from it is probably the texture choice through the fur. Yeah, not too much of a fan. I feel like it needs to be, it's coming across too realistic. And then you've got a comic style of him. So I would personally, if that was me, I would be rendering the fur and just drawing it myself. Unfortunately, like stroke by stroke kind of thing. But it doesn't take too long. But you can do it as a cell shaded kind of way. You know, that's a much better choice. Yeah, because this one here, I'm not really a fan of either. It's not too bad, but it's too messy and too scruffy, or it is sharper, but yeah, it's the black that's used through it. So yeah, this one's better in color and everything. From a distance, this looks great overall. It's only when I zoom in, it just looks a little too realistic. And his belt buckle and all that seem a little too saturated. They're popping too much for something that's tucked under there. It looks like it's beaming light, like it's lit up. I'm not sure if it's meant to be, but I don't think their belts light up, but I can see a red like bouncing off. Yeah, anyway. All right, I think that's it. Oh no, yep, no, we've got next up is Cyril, and you've got these pieces here. Really like these. You've done a great job. So sorry, I've got them backwards again. 2021 here. So this is the older one. And you've revamped it here. And again, yeah, this is cool. I like the way you've done the women here. The anatomy and everything seems much more well drawn. You're a lot more confident. If you look at the faces, so look at this, the way you've drawn faces back here in 21, and then look at them now. Much more confident. You know what you're doing. Much more well drawn. Like look at her compared to her. So the faces here just kind of lacked a little bit of that confidence. You know what I mean? and just much more refined overall. Very clear, like very professional as well. Yeah, these look really good. People would pay good money, for this art. I hope you do earn a lot of good money off your work. This is brilliant. I love the way you've done your hair. Very clean. Love the line work throughout in every way. I think it's really good. I think one thing, if I could give you some feedback, you could just keep pushing the drawing and keep refining. So even more attention into detail as you get into the noses. I think you would have a look at J. Scott Campbell, Ryan Otley is a big one. Like the way they kind of really do their line weights through the faces and such. There's actually a lot of choice there. In line weights would really help with your work as well. You'll see what I mean. But you do, these are really good. I just think they could be even better is what I'm trying to say. In focus in lines, I think line art. Because the drawing is all there. There is nothing wrong with your drawing. I cannot see a problem. It really just comes down to the line art and the inking. If you could get even more finesse in there, it would be absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I love that. Yeah, great work, Cyril. Awesome stuff. And that's it for this monthly project. That was awesome. I really love seeing all of the art here and the comparisons. That's the big part. I really love seeing old stuff revamped and redone, just to see how far you've come as an artist, because it's a big thing, and it's a big eye-opener as well. So yeah, hopefully everyone had a lot of fun with that. It's really cool to see. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are new to monthly projects, feel free to jump on board. Patreon.com/Patrick Brown, and you can join in on these monthly projects. There's lots of other things going on, art competitions, and I put videos out every fortnight, and lots more. Feedback frenzies, giving a bit of feedback out when I can, and other things. And also my art. You get a lot of my art PSD files and high-res art, stuff like that. Cool. All right, I'll leave you all to it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.